Hello, it's Nicola from Daisy and Grace, and I'm bringing you a little short tutorial today using the 3.5-inch Quilt As You Go hexagon, and I'm using it alongside the Easy Y seam tool. Now I've got a whole YouTube video on how to use the Easy Y seam tool, so it's just a little refresher on what you can do with this. So let me show you some of the things. Oh, a bit unprepared over there. So you can make whole quilt toppers like this. This one hasn't been quilted yet and hasn't been finished. Or you could use this fabric to make clothes like this little top I made for a festival a couple of years ago. So very versatile, and this big shape means that you get a lot of fabric really quickly. So I'm going to show you a quick demo on how it's done. So I have got the big hexagon here, and I have cut out some hexagons. Now when you go to cut, don't be tempted to cut like this because you're too stretched. Always put your template back in the middle, then you can hold this and this won't move when you cut it. So that's a top tip for cutting these big shapes. Always put the center back in. Now I've cut this, I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my little Easy Y seam tool. Now this has different holes in the side for different shapes. Now we've got a hexagon, so here is the hexagon one, and all you're going to do to make your fabric is pop a pencil mark, line that angle up with the edge of your fabric and pop a pencil mark in. So originally I started just doing the ones I knew I was going to need, but actually it makes much more sense just to do all of them, and then you're doing it all in one go and it's done. So how does the Easy Y seam tool work? Well, you take a hexagon, and I've put the dots on this one already, and with right sides together you match up one edge, and we're going to sew dot to dot, and this is the trick. You must start on the dot and finish on the dot. So let's go over to the sewing machine, and I've put black thread in my machine to show you, what to do. So I'm going to start on that dot, and I'm going to start with a stay stitch. So that does an on the spot stitch. I'm going to get to the other end, to my dot, and do the same again. Then I'm going to take another hexagon, and I'm going to place that against this edge, and I'm going to pop a pin in there, and then I'm going to go along to this edge and pop a pin in there. So actually I am going to come back to here. So I'm going to be sewing, I've put right sides together again, and I'm going to be sewing from dot to dot, and you see that dot finishes where that one's started. So I'm going to go dot to dot back on the sewing machine. So here we go. I'm going to put my foot down. I can't see my dot yet. There we go. Hang on. It's worth taking the time to get the position of your dots. So there we go. I've got that in place. I'm doing the stay stitch. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on my machine as well. So you're doing 1/4 inch seam allowances. I'm going to go along to that other dot and just see if I'm there. No, one more, and do a stay stitch, and let's head back over to here. So we've stitched that one and this one. Now this is where the Y seam comes in. It's got a seam there and a seam there. So we need two. So I'm going to turn it over because I like to go from the outside edge in. So I am going to put a pin in there. Now we've got all three of these coming to a point here. So we need to pop a pin in there. And we're going to go dot to dot again. So I'm just finding my position, and we'll start. Now I've done this in black thread so that you can see what I'm doing. But obviously you would use a thread that coordinates. So here we go. So there's all three seams stitched. It looks a bit of a pickle at the moment because I haven't pressed it. So I'm going to show you how you should press this. So I'm bring my iron over, and I'm going to set the seams first. So I'm going to just press each of the seams. Have I done that one? There we go. Then I'm going to open it out. And I'm going to start working in a clockwise way. So I've pushed that seam over to that way. And then I'm pushing this seam over this way, and then this one over that way. Now you've got this funny thing in the center, and it should form a little hexagon. So you just open your seams out and it forms a little hexagon. Turn it over and you've got your Y seam there. So this is one I've made, this is one I've made earlier. Oh, let's go to the overhead, and you just carry on joining them and making your fabric. So it's a really lovely thing to do with your large templates. Something else for you to do in the May challenge. Are you going to create some fabric to make some garments, or are you going to make a whole topper without doing quilt as you go, but having your Y seams? Who knows? It's all exciting stuff, and I can't wait to see some of your pictures. Don't forget to come and join us on Daisy and Grace Quilters on Facebook, where you can share all your pictures and everyone shares theirs too, so you'll get inspired beyond belief. It's amazing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini tutorial. Don't forget there's a YouTube one as well. But for now, see you later. Happy sewing.